Good morning and welcome to Preschool Storytime. I'm Miss Allison coming to you live from the Storytime room in the Children's Library. It's good to have you with me today. Before we get started, just a reminder that Summer Reading Club 2021 is ongoing. So if you haven't registered yet, you can still do that through our website. And if you have registered, be sure to be logging your minutes so that you can redeem your efforts for prizes. You can take care of that through the Read Squared program, or you can, and then when you get a notification that you're due for a prize, come see us at one of our service desks and we will take care of that for you. All right, the last couple of Wednesdays I have done stories about animals because our theme for this summer is Tails and Tales, T-A-I-L-S and T-A-L-E-S. Today I'm doing the T-A-L-E-S version. I'm going to read some variations of fairy tales to you, and I just love them because they're really funny twists on the classics. The first one I'm going to read is The Three Little Wolves and the Big Bad Pig. Now that should sound like something that's familiar to you, but not quite the same. The Three Little Pigs, yep, but this time it's the Three Little Wolves. Once upon a time, there were three cuddly little wolves with soft fur and fluffy tails who lived with their mother. The first was black, the second was gray, and the third was white. One day, the mother called the three little wolves around her and said, "My children, it's time for you to go out into the world. Go and build a house for yourselves, but beware of the big bad pig." "Don't worry, Mother, we'll watch out for him," said the three little wolves, and they set off. Soon they met a kangaroo who was pushing a wheelbarrow full of red and yellow bricks. "Please, will you give us some of your bricks?" asked the three little wolves. "Certainly," said the kangaroo, and she gave them lots of red and yellow bricks. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of bricks. Now the story you're probably used to, it has the third house being built out of bricks, but this time it's the first one. They are hard at work. The very next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of bricks the little wolves had built. The three little wolves were playing croquet in the garden. When they saw the big bad pig coming, they ran inside the house and locked the door. The pig knocked on the door and grunted, little wolves, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the three little wolves. "By the hair on our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in. Not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, but the house didn't fall down, not surprisingly. But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He went and fetched his sledgehammer and he knocked the house down. Oh my gosh. The three little wolves only just managed to escape before the bricks crumbled, and they were very frightened indeed. "We shall have to build a stronger house," they said. And just then they saw a beaver who was mixing concrete in a concrete mixer. "Please, will you give us some of your concrete?" asked the three little wolves. "Certainly," said the beaver, and he gave them buckets and buckets full of messy, slurry concrete. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of concrete. Now that's not in the original story. No sooner had they finished than the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of concrete that the little wolves had built. They were playing battledore and shuttlecock in the garden, and when they saw the big bad pig coming, they ran inside their house and shut the door. The pig rang the bell and said, "Little frightened wolves, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the three little wolves. "By the hair on our chinny chin chins, we'll not let you in. Not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, but the house didn't fall down. But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He went and fetched his jackhammer and smashed that house down. The three little wolves managed to escape, but their chinny chin chins were trembling and trembling and trembling. I bet. We shall build an even stronger house, they said, because they were very determined. Just then they saw a truck coming along the road carrying barbed wire, iron bars, armor plates, and heavy metal padlocks. Please, will you give us some of your barbed wire, a few iron bars and armor plates, and some heavy metal padlocks? They said to the rhinoceros who was driving the truck. Sure, said the rhinoceros, and he gave them plenty of barbed wire, iron bars, armor plates, and heavy metal padlocks. He also gave them some plexiglass and some reinforced steel chains because he was a generous and kind-hearted rhinoceros indeed. So the three little wolves built themselves an extremely strong house. It was the strongest, securest house one could possibly imagine. They felt absolutely safe. The next day, the big bad pig came prowling along the road as usual. The three little wolves were playing hopscotch in the garden. When they saw the big bad pig coming, they ran inside their house, bolted the door, and locked 37 padlocks. The pig dialed the video entrance phone and said, "Little frightened wolves with the trembling chins, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the little wolves. "By the hair on our chinny chin chins, we'll not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our teapot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, but the house didn't fall down. But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He brought some dynamite, laid it against the house, lit the fuse, and the house blew up. Kablooey! The three little wolves just managed to escape with their fluffy tails scorched. He is a big bad pig indeed. "Something must be wrong with our building materials," they said. "We have to try something different." But what? At that moment, they saw a flamingo coming along pushing a wheelbarrow full of flowers. "Please, will you give us some flowers?" asked the three little wolves. "With pleasure," said the flamingo, and he gave them lots of flowers. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of flowers. Now, does that sound like it's going to work? One wall was of marigolds, one of daffodils, one of pink roses, and one of cherry blossoms. The ceiling was made of sunflowers, and the cart floor was a carpet of daisies. They had water lilies in the bathtub, buttercups in the refrigerator. It was a rather fragile house, and it swayed in the wind, but it was very beautiful. It sounds like it. Next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of flowers that the three little wolves had built. He rang the blue bell at the door and said, "Little frightened wolves with the trembling chins and the scorched tails, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the three little wolves. "By the hair on our chinny chin chins, we'll not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot. Then I'll huff and I'll puff, and I will blow your house down," said the pig. But as he took a deep breath and got ready to huff and puff, he smelled the soft scent of the flowers. It was fantastic. And because the scent was so lovely, the pig took another breath and then another, and instead of huffing and puffing, he began to sniff. He sniffed deeper and deeper until he was quite filled with the fragrant scents. His heart grew tender, and he realized how horrible he'd been. Right then, he decided to become a big, good pig. He started to sing and to dance. Look at that. The wolves, they see the big wide opens. They're not quite sure what's going on. At first, the three little wolves were a bit worried. It might be a trick. But soon they realized the pig had truly changed, and they came running out of the house and started playing games with him. There you can see the house from the outside. It is pretty, isn't it? First they played Pig Pog and Piggy in the middle, and when they were all tired, they invited him into the house. They offered him tea and strawberries and wolfberries and asked him to stay with them as long as he wanted. The pig accepted, and they all lived happily together ever after. Can you say the end? The end. How about that version of the classic Three Little Pigs? All right, the next one I'm going to read to you is Waking Beauty, which should sound like Sleeping Beauty just a little bit. And this is really funny. It's one of my very favorites. Once upon a Saturday, in search of dragons he could slay, Prince Charming heard a dreadful sound that shook the land for miles around. It thundered from a castle tall. He raced to scale its prickly wall. "A dragon lies within," he cried, and hand on sword he crept inside. Then hung his head. "Oh, rats," he said, "it's just a snoring girl in bed." He peeked behind her canopy and spied some fairies. 1, 2, 3. "She's snored this way 100 years," they whimpered through their fairy tears. "That long?" he frowned. "She sure sleeps late. Wake her up. Why do you wait?" The fairies scowled. "Don't be so dense. She'll only wake up for a prince. We see you finally made the trip. Now give the girl a little lip." "Okay," he said, "if you insist." He drew his mouth up in a twist and hollered, "Wake up, lazy bones!" Her snores drowned out the fairies' groans. They shook their heads. "No, not like this. You have to wake her with a..." What's that you say? "Hey, I know. He tapped his head and started jumping on the bed. Beauty shot up, hoops and all, then sailed down like a parasol. This did not wake the maiden fair, but loosed the cobwebs in her hair. The fairies all began to hiss, "She'll only wake to true love's..." What do you think they're trying to say? Wait. Prince Charming waved his hand. "Don't worry, girls, I understand." And stooping over her snoring snout, he dumped a pitcher of water out. On she slept, she did not stir. Thick dust had turned to mud on her. The feisty fairies grabbed his ear, making certain he could hear. "Take careful aim, you must not miss. You've got to wake her with a..." Oh, I know what you were planning. Prince Charming spied a castle cannon. He stuffed the Sleeping Beauty in. She soon came shooting out again. Kaboom! She fell into the moat, where all her hoops kept her afloat. Still on she snored as frightened trout, and crocodiles jumped right out. Prince Charming fished the girl ashore. The fairies yelled, "Enough, no more!" They fluttered round him, feeling frantic. "How can you be so unromantic? She won't have ever after bliss until you wake her with a kiss." Look at his face. He's not so sure. The prince's knees began to shake. His noble heart began to quake. 100 years of morning breath? Wow, that could be the kiss of death. He poked her muddy, matted curls. "And I've heard there are germs on girls." He wiped her mouth clean with his shirt. "I hope," he squeaked, "this doesn't hurt." His puckered lips met Beauty's smack, and in her sleep she kissed him back. Prince Charming smiled. "Not bad," he said. The maiden sat up in her bed. She stretched and yawned and rubbed her eyes. Then, much to everyone's surprise, she popped Prince Charming with her fist. "Who said that you could have a kiss?" The pummeled prince slid down, poor chap, and fell asleep on Beauty's lap. Beauty groaned and bent to shake him. "Fairies, tell me how to wake him." "Oh, just let the poor boy sleep," they said, and tired too, they went to bed. But fairy tales can't end like this. We know she woke him with a kiss. I love that one. All right, here's the third one, and then I'm going to tell you just a little bit after this one how you can tell your own tales. Okay, so hang in there. One more story, and then I'm going to give you a special little project that you can do on your own. This is called Beware of the Bears. When the three bears saw what Goldilocks had done to their little cottage, they were hopping mad. Their porridge eaten, chairs broken, beds bounced on. Go after her. Find out where she lives, ordered Daddy Bear. Are you recognizing the story? Goldilocks and the Three Bears? Baby Bear jumped on his scooter and sped after Goldilocks. In no time at all, he was back. She lives on the far side of the forest, he panted. And what's more, she's gone out and left her door unlocked. Good, said Mommy Bear. What are we waiting for? Let's see how she likes uninvited guests. Baby Bear led the way through the forest to Goldilocks' cottage, and the door was unlocked, just as he said. On the breakfast table were several open boxes. This isn't porridge, sniffed Mommy Bear. Baby Bear read the labels. Wheatos, Munch Flakes, and Puffo Pops. Sounds all right to me, said Daddy Bear. Pour away, Baby-O. These Wheatos are too sweet, said Daddy Bear. These Munch Flakes are too noisy, said Mommy Bear. But these Puffo Pops are just right, said Baby Bear, aiming a spoonful toward Daddy Bear. The Puffo Pops hit Daddy Bear in the eye. He launched a spoonful of Wheatos and they splattered all over Mommy Bear's best blouse. Soon cereal was flying left and right until the floors, walls, and ceiling were dripping with brown goo. This isn't how breakfast goes at your house, is it? Oh, I hope not. Then Baby Bear turned on the radio. Let's dance, he squealed. Mommy and Daddy Bear tangoed on the table. The table's too slippy, said Daddy Bear. They did the cha-cha around the curtains. The curtains are too rippy, said Mommy Bear. But this sofa's just right, squeaked Baby Bear. So they all jumped on the sofa and did the bossa nova until, whoops, they went right through it. Do your parents and you jump on the furniture? Oh my goodness. Next, the three bears went upstairs, and there were lots of things to try in the bathroom. This shaving cream's too creamy, grumbled Daddy Bear. This toothpaste is too minty, gargled Mommy Bear. But this bubble bath is just right, cried Baby Bear from beneath a mountain of suds. All right, here we come, said Mommy Bear. Splash! They had a wonderful time splashing in the bath. Look at the water and the bubbles going everywhere. Once they were clean and the bathroom a mess, they moved on to the bedroom. These pajamas are too tight, said Daddy Bear, bursting the buttons. This mattress is too lumpy, said Mommy Bear, bouncing up and down. But these pillows are just right, said Baby Bear. Just right for a pillow fight. Baby Bear biffed Mommy Bear, and Mommy Bear whacked Daddy Bear. Pillows split open, filling the room with clouds of feathers. Suddenly, Daddy Bear stopped. Shh, listen, I hear someone. Quietly, the three bears crept downstairs. Goldilocks was in the kitchen. Daddy Bear, Mommy Bear, and Baby Bear gleefully spied on her from behind the door. She gasped when she saw the cereal splattered all over the walls. Her eyes grew large when she saw the ripped curtains and the gigantic hole in the sofa. She whistled when she saw the flooded bathroom decorated with shaving foam and toothpaste. Next, Goldilocks went into the bedroom. She stared open-mouthed at the broken bed covered with feathers. Then the three bears jumped out from behind the door. Surprise, they shouted. We thought we would pay you a visit, said Mommy Bear. Goldilocks looked at them and then back at the room. And to the bears' astonishment, she threw back her head and laughed until her hair shook like golden springs. What is so funny? Said Mommy Bear. Aren't you mad at what we've done? Asked Daddy Bear. This isn't my house, said Goldilocks. But it must be, said Baby Bear. I saw you go in. Oh, that, said Goldilocks. The door was open, so I thought I'd look around. I'm always sneaking into other people's houses. I only came back because I left my teddy bear behind. If it's not your house, whose house is it? Asked Daddy Bear. Help, squeaked Baby Bear, looking out of the window. Whose house do you think it could be? Can you see? Is that the big bad wolf? It is. It's his house. Look at them escaping out the back door, running as fast as they can. And then there he is, wondering what has happened. I like that variation on the classic a lot too. Okay, real quick, this is something I always like to do with my story times in person, but it's something that you can do at home. You can carry a story in your pocket. All right, so I want you to reach into your pocket, or if you don't have one, you can pretend, and you're going to have a little bitty book in your hand. It fits right there in your palm. All right, and you're going to open it up and open it up and open it up until it gets big enough for you to step into, and you're going to close it up. And you are inside your very own story. You can make anything up that you want. Since we were talking about fairy tales today, come up with your own version of a fairy tale. Think about the different things that are in fairy tales. Castles, dragons, princesses, princes, knights, horses, anything along those lines. Or you can have a story in outer space, or under the ocean, or on top of a mountain. You can come up with anything you want right here in your imagination. And you can tell that story to your parents, your grandparents, sisters and brothers and friends. You can tell tales just as well as these people in these books do, okay? And when you're finished, open your book back up. You want to step out of it, close it up, and then you're going to fold it up and fold it up and fold it up until it fits in the palm of your hand again, and tuck it back in your pocket. That way you can carry it wherever you go, to the beach, to the park, outside in your backyard, to the library, and you have your very own story wherever you are. All right? I hope you'll do that. It's a lot of fun. Thanks for being with me today for these crazy versions of fairy tales. I hope you laughed some, and I will look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye.